Hello everyone! So today's pick a card reading is also going to be a little bit shorter than normal so that you all have time to hear it and you don't have to sit down for an hour. So the question for today is, what do the mermaids want you to know? And this one is centered around your manifestations. If you didn't see last week's video, I was saying how the angels and the mermaids specifically this month have been going crazy with wanting to share messages to the collective. So I decided to give them each their own card reading this week. So I'm really curious to see what comes out, as they've been super chatty. So we have 3 piles to choose from. This first one here is a big point of smoky quartz that looks a lot like clear quartz. Pile 2 is this piece of Lepodite. Pile 3 is this piece of peach selenite. Okay, so please remember to ground yourselves before choosing a pile. It just helps everything resonate. It helps you hear your intuition a little more clearly. It will help you to know if there is a message for you here, or if you just need to pick another pick a card reading. Yeah, all right. I'll give you a minute to do that now, and I'll see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile 1. You all chose this piece of smoky quartz. So I'm just going to put the cards down and we'll see what you all got. We have Be Humble, Changing DNA, Accept Heaven's Help, Treasure Chest, Visions, Guide, and Growth. You know what? I am gonna like the way this is sitting. There we go. That is a bit better. Okay, pile 1. So the messages here are definitely coming through for what's coming your way. I would say in the next month or the next 30 days that you're seeing this. It doesn't matter when. All card readings are always timeless. They find you when you need to hear them. But what I'm seeing here is a lot of really good stuff. I feel like there's a lot of things coming up. They're saying you intuitively have been thinking about these things and about these, like what am I trying to say here? I feel like a lot of this is saying that these are all reminders and confirmations that yes, this is coming in. Yes, you've been thinking there might be little blocks here and there. Yes, there is. This is what they are. You're right. So the first thing that jumped out to me is definitely about manifesting in abundance, like the life that you're wanting. I think for this pile, it's a lot around finances and health, and that you're wanting those 2 areas specifically to shift. So when I see Accept Heaven's Help, I think that they're telling me here that you've done a really good job about putting it out there that you want help. So if you're a little confused about that and you're thinking, what the heck, I have been asking the universe, I have been trying to get more help, what is it talking about? What I see here is it's saying that you've done that part super well. It says you've prayed for help, so they're even acknowledging that. But right now, there's still a little bit of a block coming up around you actually receiving it. So it's good. It means you've done a great job. Like I literally see that there's like crowds of opportunities or people coming your way. How they're portraying that is that you focused a lot, on calling it in, but now you need to maybe start shifting. If you're doing some inner child work, if you're doing some gratitude journaling and all that, keep that up, but start shifting it so that it targets more these limiting beliefs or these blocks around you receiving help. So I do feel like for this pile, this is like one of those tricky things where you're not too sure how to go deeper yet, how to get rid of this block, because you already feel like you've been trying to deal with this. And I actually just got something pop into my head here. I might have to look this up. There's like this form of energy work, and I know that in its practice, it teaches people to create energy flow. Hang on, I gotta look this up. Okay, Google saved me here. I kept getting that it might be a Japanese practice, and I mean, I literally was certain it was saying Japanese, but Google is telling me that the one that I was thinking of is a Chinese movement exercise, and it's Tai Chi, or I think it's Qi Gong. It's like, I'll like type it out and put it in a text box so that you all can see this. But the thing that it was telling me is that this might be a good way because you can use it in a state of meditation. And I feel like this pile has been really called to work more on meditation. And that is how they're going to grow the fastest. That's how, like, I see changing DNA, changing cellular structure, changing your health, changing just where you are in life, like changing your reality. I think that is what this pile is trying to do. You're literally trying to defy, what's the word I'm looking at? Defy what people have physically said is possible for you, for your health, and defy what people think is possible for you in your finances or in what you can attain. And it's really, really cool stuff you're doing, but I think you've hit a bit of a block. And this is where the mermaids and your angels and guides are coming in to say, let's give you some tools and some advice on how to not feel so stuck. So this energy modality, why I kept thinking it was important, so you've gotten so good. Like, I honestly have to say, you've really done amazing at calling in opportunities. But if we don't start to shift that receiving block, it's going to keep you, essentially, like, you see this card, like, there's like all these opportunities coming at this mermaid sitting on this rock here. And then she's just isn't quite ready to receive it. It's like almost overwhelming. There's some limiting beliefs coming up, like, oh no, I don't need all this help. It's okay. Thank you. I'm good. But she's still wanting it. So she's still calling in more opportunities and more help. So this energy modality, so try looking up. I'm positive that there's going to be a ton of this on YouTube for you all. You won't have to spend any money to find this information. Tai Chi, or, so sorry, the word I can't pronounce, Qi Gong, are traditional Chinese movement exercises. Sorry, I'm just reading right off my Google phone here. It says they are based on two ideas. Energy called Qi or Qi flows through the body along energy pathways called meridians. In the flow of Qi is blocked or unbalanced at any point on a pathway, it is thought that you may become ill. In this case, that actually is very interesting. That's getting into energy chakra stuff. But basically, in these practices, they teach you how to move those blocks. And if you have a heart chakra block or a receiving block that is, sorry, let me go back a bit. Simplifying energy work. When a chakra has a block in it, so the heart is what allows us to receive and give. So if there's a block around receiving, it could be a block around feeling worthy. It could be an old limiting belief about believing that you deserve to accept help, or around being good enough to receive that. They're usually something around those words. So that would create a block in your heart energy. Those limiting beliefs would create the block there. And so for you to be able to accept heaven's help easier, we have to remove or start to dissolve that receiving block. For this pile, meditation is being suggested. Oh, sorry. They're a little excited right now. I don't know why. Oof. Yikes. Oh boy. Okay. We'll see how much of that sound we can cut out of this. Okay. So, sorry. My mind is just like all over the place today. Must be the Mercury retrograde everyone's talking about and the crazy eclipses coming in if you're watching this as this is coming out. But anyways, how I see this being good for meditation and then doing this movement, you're literally gonna like follow your YouTube videos on their suggestions, because I'm certain they'll have something for heart energy flow or removing heart chakra blocks or receiving blocks in those practices. And it's going to literally cause you to like visualize and physically do movements that will dissolve or eliminate the block and also create like that flow again, because there's a lot of power in being able to visualize like the energy in your heart chakra flowing or completing its circuit. And I think right now, if you were to see your energy in the heart center, you would see that it doesn't flow in like a circular motion, like it kind of gets blocked one way, which is very common, so don't worry about that. We're working on it. You're working on it, and you're gonna be good. That would be a good thing to do just to help change things up, because sometimes it's really exhausting to do a lot of inner child work. So they're saying doing this will be a different thing. It will be good for removing it, and it will give you a break from always putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be constantly doing a lot of emotional work. Like, I feel like you put a lot of pressure on it. It is good to do emotional work, but when you're doing it with the attitude of it just needs to go away and it needs to be fixed, it is very hard on ourselves to do it that way. And then this card on here, treasure chest, an unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you now. This honestly is just a great confirmation to say there's just some extreme chaos going on in this house right now. I don't know what's happening. This didn't start until I started doing this card reading, so I guess there's some like chaotic energies out there for all of us, hey? Okay, so, and I would also say that you're feeling like you're a little bit stuck in chaos. Okay, so getting back to this, I do really want to emphasize here, and because you might not get this energy, but I do get that you're gonna get through this. This might feel really stuck right now. You might feel like you really want something, but then you can feel like you take a few steps back. Everything here is saying just amazing stuff for you. Like, you will get through this. You are basically destined for it. You've come so far. You've grown so much. Like, I see this. Like, you've grown already so much, and you've done so much work, and you've kind of attained a level of consciousness or spiritual growth that some people already at this point will not ever gain in their life. So you really need to celebrate and acknowledge just how much you've done and how far you've grown, and just like the work that you've done. Not all people will go within themselves and do that level of work. And just because you've done that, I know you're going to get through this, because this is like child's play compared to the level of emotions and pain that you have felt and grown and lived through. So when I see this growth card, it tells me, just once again, you've already come so far, but you are going to go a little bit further yet. And if, like I said, you are watching this as this comes out, I feel like this next month, especially with all the eclipses and like the meteor showers that are happening, and just like I think Saturn recently came through again, something like that, which, you know, like happens like every 30 years. It's just an insane couple of months. And this is just telling me that this is all happening for you for the right time. Like you are right aligned with where you should be. Like I see this clock and I see like, if you're feeling stuck, it's just because all that other stuff, all that stuff that was hiding a little bit deeper, that deeper layer has come up and is ready to get rid of. Like if when you feel stuck and there's like extra junk coming up, the beauty of it, it means that you now recognize that as something no longer serves you, something you no longer need. And it's gonna get ready to go. Like I think during this next moon cycle or the next few weeks especially, it's really going to start shifting more, more than normal. So it's really saying, be so patient with yourself. Please try to do your meditation, like even 10 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Because I feel like because you're going through such a big transition, like how would I put this? Like you're literally letting go of yet another huge part of your ego. Like if you've gone through an ego death, I would almost say this is like another ego death coming in. So this is why I'm really trying to say, like, you are like defying things that other people who are bystanders will not understand how you got there. They're just gonna almost like lose track of you. They're not gonna even like, you know, like, do you know how like once people don't resonate with you anymore, all of a sudden they just stop messaging you as much or calling you as much as they used to? I think that's just happening for this pile. And when they think back to you, they're going to wonder where you were. And next thing they know, they're going to wonder where you went. And next thing they know, when they like look up you on social media or something or hear about you, they're going to be like, how is that possible? That's not physically possible that that person is there. You're that person. Like I just see that everything old and not resonating and not aligned with you is shifting away. And I know you've gone through this before, but this is another level up. This is happening again because you're like rising even higher. And I just, when I see this changing DNA card, I really have to say, this is so big. This is so big. Like, I really think like if you have like a disease or if you have like a family generational disease or trauma, or even like on a spiritual generational lessons, I think you're breaking all that stuff. Like you're literally changing your DNA. You're changing DNA for the generations after you. You are changing basically who you physically were. It's really cool. Like it says, everything within my cellular structure is changeable because each molecule is a piece of God. I am whole, I am healthy, and I am holy. This is just so cool. So cool. I like even think like this is the kind of card and this kind of reading comes through for people who say have diseases or say have like, maybe they're born blind and all of a sudden they are doing this deep, deep work. And I mean super deep. You've gone through the first level of limiting beliefs and you've blown them apart. They're no longer there. You've gone into the secondary limiting beliefs now, and that's what you're working on. So it's like, this is the limiting belief that are so deep where you can almost start to defy physical limitations that a human perceives to be real and possible. Like if you were trying to all of a sudden be able to see and you've been blind your whole life, this would be the time in your life that you would defy those odds. I hope that makes sense. Like if you have an illness or a disease you've been told you've had for years and you've chose this pile, I think right now you're working on never having nothing to do with that disease anymore, even though it's technically incurable. Like this is the energy defying physical believed limits. Really cool. And it just means that you've gone into such a deep place within yourselves that you are literally questioning and removing all these like collective consciousness limiting beliefs that we're just born with or born into. It's really, really cool. So yes, if you've been feeling like more stuff has been coming up and you feel like you've taken a step back, that is just showing that you're really outgrowing all those old things and you're not going to tolerate them anymore. And that's why they're so in your face and they seem so annoying. But you are just growing, and this is all in the right timing because the eclipse, the everything that's happening right now in a astrological time frame was necessary for you to make such a big leap like this, such a big transition like this. So when I saw this Be Humble card, this really reiterated to me that yes, the meditation thing is so important for this pile. You will not find your answers outside of yourself, because outside of yourself is the collective that has a lot of limiting beliefs that will not defy physical realities as you know it. And you are destined to be that like leader. I almost see that one who defies the odds, who figures it out for themselves and then teaches others how to do it for them as well. And also because you have done that and you are learning how to do that, it will be easier for others to do it for themselves. I get like this like monk energy a bit, like monks who can levitate because they've gone in and they've done so much that they literally defy physical reality is the word I keep saying. Like, it's really clear. You want to defy physical reality. Super cool. Super cool. And you're on your way. But I just really see that the journey comes from within and seeing all of you, the brilliance of you, the beauty of you, your value, and seeing the limiting beliefs and the fear and the doubts. And I feel like once you get to this place where you can hold space and see both from a neutral perspective, you're not trying to fix one or the other, that is when you fully step into this next level that you're heading into. And then just here with the visions card, psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing out of body travel. I think the more you meditate specifically, I really think like for this pile, the key is meditation to overcome anything or to attain anything that you want. So it sounds funny, but like if you've been like, oh, I need to like read this book and learn more about this so that I get better. I feel like they're saying, yes, it's good to read the book, it's good to do that course, but the real work is the meditation and the going within, because that is what actually is going to get you there. And it's actually going to cut out a lot of that extra work of having to memorize a book or memorize things like that. It's like your superpower to not have to do all that. You'll just know it. You'll be more attuned with the oneness, the collective consciousness, and being able to tap into that wisdom. And then, so for this card, when I see this, and if you've been wondering if or when your psychic gifts will become stronger, when you're astral traveling, or when is your spiritual gifts going to get stronger? Are they going to get stronger? Yes, they are. That's what I see. I see that specifically for this pile, your clairvoyance gifts are going to become stronger and stronger. So like it's saying like I think when you see people, you're going to start seeing their energy more clearly. Where I think right now you might tune into it, you're actually going to walk up to people and you're going to see their aura very clearly. You're going to see anything attached to them a lot more clearly. And this is just going to be the way you see the world. This is who you're stepping into. You recognize and your soul knows that everything's just energy, and you're going to be able to see more with your third eye, but in the physical reality. And yeah, definitely think you guys are going to get more into astral traveling or remote viewing kind of work. There's a big thing around that. I'm not sure what you're going to do with it, but it's definitely coming in. And I feel like you've been wondering about that. So yeah, and I really, once again, see this comes in with the meditation specifically. That will get stronger and stronger. And then guide, mentor, trustworthy ally. You might have seen this card. When I see this, actually, once again, it's telling me that you are your best guide. You are your best mentor. You can trust yourself and you can trust your intuition and what you see. So I really get that, once again, meditation is coming through for being the biggest thing for this pile. It's like showing me not to get distracted by anything outside of yourself. Truly, you know what's best for you, and to really go within and do that meditation work to grow, to get guidance, to know what steps to take forward. Everything's going to come from that meditation with yourself. And I have to say, this meditation is definitely not like a guided meditation. This is taking that time to quiet your brain and be in silence. So if you usually like doing guided or having music, this is really asking you to set time. Like, sure, yes, you can still do your guided meditations if you like it, but try to set 10 minutes where you don't do anything guided and you're in silence, because they're saying to have nothing to distract you is the key of really getting into this deep level meditation and learning how to truly quiet your mind and be alone with your thoughts. Oh, there's just so much exciting stuff coming in. So much exciting stuff. And I can't remember if I finished my thought on this card, but I'm really seeing that like you're destined to get through this. The amount of time that it takes can differ, but I just, with the energy of this pile, I think you're gonna like really grow this next month, the next 30 days, maybe even 3 weeks. This pile's just definitely on a fast track right now, and they're just like growing. And the more meditation you can do, the faster this is gonna pass and the easier this transition is gonna be for you. And I do feel like I said, I think there is some financial desire for this pile, and I do think you're gonna get that. Like it seems so sure. Like as the card you're looking in, it almost feels like it's already in your life. But this little block in the heart is the only thing keeping it from being already in your life now. So it's just constantly on the horizon. Like I said, I see all these seagulls coming and like coming at you. And then all it needs is you to like put down that hand, and then you're going to have it. So try looking to that Tai Chi or the, I already forgot the word Ki Cho. Oh, I'll put it in the text box while I'm talking here, because I think that will help. And meditation, meditation. But this specifically for the receiving block is the Tai Chi work would be great. Well, I'm so excited for this pile. You have like some really amazing things coming in, and wow, you are literally, like I said, doing things that some people will just never ever attain in a life, but you're gonna rise to that challenge. This is definitely what you're here to do, to defy physical reality, to defy what we physically think is possible. It's super cool stuff. Okay, you all have a good one, and I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking this video if it resonated, and thanks for leaving a comment. I appreciate your time. Hello, pile 2. You all chose this piece of Lepodite. All right, let's see what you all got. I'll just put them down and then we'll get into the details. So go deeper. Successful business. Discernment. Self-forgiveness. Make a wish. Dreams. And homeland. It's interesting. I haven't been liking the order of these cards today. Don't know why. There we go. Looks better. Okay, pile 2. So the first thing I want to talk about is the numbers I see coming up. And I think they're just going to reiterate a lot of the messages coming in. But 10, 23, and 44 all are calling out to me. So this could be a little message in itself that you receive a lot of angel numbers or a lot of guidance and support from your guides through numbers, and to keep looking them up if you haven't been lately. And then all this is talking about the cycle that you're in right now, the things that you're trying to manifest for sure. So first thing that caught my eye was the 10 here, which is saying that you are coming to the end of a cycle, or sorry, you have completed a cycle and now you've already begun a new one. And I think if you're watching this as this came out, I think April 11th is when you entered in a new cycle. I think it's a little bit of an interesting coincidence, because as soon as I saw 10, I kept thinking April 10th. April 10th is really important. And then the meaning of 10 is that the cycle has ended. So I do think you have actually begun a new cycle. If you're watching this later, just trust that you find these messages whenever you need it. But for those seeing this as it comes out, I definitely think it's referring to specifically April 10th being the end of a cycle. And then the cycle that you're stepping into is going to be really good. It's bringing in more of what you're wanting. Like it says, successful business. So whatever you're working towards in your career, if it literally is a business that you have, or if you're just trying to come into financial abundance or financial freedom, I do see that coming in. You've been working on this for a while. So this card here, the Homeland card, I really just see it as a confirmation that you've been working for it for a while, and it's like paying off. Like it's coming in now. Like I just see like this mermaid. I don't know if it actually is supposed to be that, but I just feel that she's covered in gold coins, and she's coming from a place of gratitude and love. Like it doesn't feel like egotistical. It doesn't feel like taking energy. It feels very good. It feels very graciously accepting their abundance. And it's been a long journey, but you've worked alongside with your guides, with the divine guidance, with your angels, and you're getting there now. You're seeing your work be paid off, or you're getting the financial compensation you've been wanting. And number 44 is on this card. So it says arrival, a journey ends, establishment, building, and settled. And the message from 44, it says master healer, abundance, hard work, stability, all paying off. So it's really amazing that they put 44 on this card, because it's so correlates or is applicable with the meaning of the card. It really is saying like you have come a long way and now you're reaping the rewards. And then I like the master healer in it, because I do feel like you are trying to establish a business or a career around helping others, around bringing a healing service to others that's going to make their life easier. And I think that's why it's been a little bit exhausting. A lot of your heart's gone into it. You really see that it's for the best for everyone. And I see here that it's starting to pay off. I really believe in this cycle is when you're going to start receiving monetary compensation for it, for your work, for the business. It's going to start seeing more financial success. And then just to talk about the number 23, the other number that is very prevalent, it talks about the importance of focusing on your own personal power and what you can create with your life. Also very, very amazing that this card deck put the number 23 on a dreams card. Vivid dreaming, dream messages, dream teaching. They definitely were very on point with the number selection for each one of their cards. But yeah, it's really just saying to remember you are strong, you are powerful, you can create whatever you want in this life. And to nurture that side of you. Because how I see this actually is I feel like what's the words? I feel like you get a lot of downloads, or you get a lot of information from your dreams. Maybe you even have dreams and then you feel inspired by them to bring that into your reality, or to create this technology that you dreamt of. And they're really just saying to keep following that. It also makes me think about this discernment card. I see that there's like a lot of guides talking to you. So I almost feel like you all are exploring right now, channeling messages from different beings, fifth dimensional beings. And here's just saying, when I see the discernment card, is that you're really going to be entering a phase where you're learning what is true for you, what is your truth, what resonates for you, and what stuff doesn't. So I kind of see you really starting to hone in on discerning between which guides you want to work with, between which guides you don't want to work with. And I just really see like that there's like this mental fog and this lot of like thoughts and confusion and wanting to seek answers, and that's going to start to clear up as you come more into this like heart-centered space, this deeper knowing space. But I just keep seeing, like, I really feel like you're definitely channeling fifth dimensional beings. So some of you might see it as star seeds. That could be another word for it. But I feel like there's just a ton of them coming through, and it's really just a time for you to discern which ones are in your highest good or in your highest interest to be working with. It feels very exploratory and a lot of growth here. But how I see this is the lesson that you're going to learn from this phase of your life is that it's really going to help you step more into that personal power, kind of like number 23 was talking about. I think personal power is definitely going to be a theme in this month, and trusting in your intuition and your own strength, because there is like a lot of yellow, and I mean there isn't and there is. There's a lot of yellow that's really standing out, despite that they're only small pieces here. So I'm going to read this. So it says, successful business. I have a successful business that brings me financial freedom and provides a rewarding and meaningful purpose that helps humanity. Wow. Wish I would have read that sooner, because this basically says to me what this card was saying. That your business is going to be, it is from such a heart-centered place. It is really meant to help other people. Like it says here, helps humanity. And I get that you are like a healer, a light worker, just someone who really wants to bring more peacefulness into this planet. And I see that, yeah, you've worked very hard, and it's really, yeah, if you can't see in this card, like she just looks so at peace, and she's like following this light. And that's kind of how I see you all, and that you've been following this journey, but they're saying, don't worry, it's coming in now. And then just with all this stuff happening with the, there's like a meteor shower, and there's been like 2 new moons in April, and oh, Saturn was around, and then what was the other thing? Oh, Mercury retrograde is also happening. So there's just a lot of stuff happening in space, and I feel like this pile is very affected by the moon, by the planetary shifts and things like that. So that's just like a little note to notice if you're having like a harder time communicating, or having a harder time feeling like yourself, to kind of pay attention to what's happening out there, because something about this pile is very affected by planetary movements and shifts and all things like that. And it's also kind of pointing out that although it does bring up a lot of old emotions and stuff right now, the planetary shifts and everything within you, that it's also a very powerful time for you to continue manifesting in what you want. So I see like make a wish. This is a magical moment. Make a wish, enjoy its manifestations, go deeper. The dreams, there's just a lot saying that although there is some lower points that you're going to be feeling old emotions coming up, or you might feel like some regrets, some memories of regrets might be surfacing more than normal, that this is just a way to remove those. They're coming up so that you can let them go. and move forward with these manifestations, because you've done great. You're doing a lot of the work. You are getting there. I really feel good for this pile, for the monetary compensation coming in, for your work, your energy work, for your business. On the personal note, with the self-forgiveness and go deeper here, this is really talking about working on communication with yourself. And I would see this as there still might be some less positive words you can use in your own head about yourselves. You might be a little hard on yourselves. I think with some of the struggles you've gone through, with some of the blocks you might have felt with this business and seeing it come in, something else just to point out about this discernment card is it's really calling on you that for this next phase you're going into, it's really important to focus on discernment and to make that a priority. That every time you go into either it's spiritual or business decisions, relationship decisions, to use discernment. Taking time and prioritizing time to ensure that you're taking things, that you're not rushing into any decisions, that you're asking clarifying questions and really listening to the answers that are coming from your intuition or from your guides, and then acting on it. And this is really going to help you grow this next month, and to break out of any other old patterns that might still be hanging around, that are no longer serving your highest good anymore. But I really get that this is really a time for you to really learn your own power and your own strength and your own independence that you have. And it's not that you have to do things on your own. It's just making sure that you and your judgment and perspective are the final decision makers. So it's taking me a moment to understand this self-forgiveness and go deeper cards. What I'm seeing this is that I think you've done this a lot. I think you've done a lot of self-love work, a lot of being kinder to yourself work. But this is coming up and saying, although you have done so good and you've done so much, there's still another layer that you can go a little bit deeper. And once you explore that a little bit more, you explore your limiting beliefs and your inner child a little bit deeper, a little bit more, you're going to find that there's yet some more self-forgiveness that can be done. So I see this coming up. It only ever comes up because usually if there's some limiting beliefs or we have like some shame or guilt, shame and guilt within us usually makes us subconsciously seek out punishment or pain. So how I would see this is that if sometimes there's a few blocks and they don't quite make sense, it could be because there's this limiting belief or this self-forgiveness that needs to happen to shift that energy. But I have to really reiterate, you have done so much work. You've done so much work. You've done so good. You finished clearing out a whole cycle already, and now you're moving on to this next one. But the guides will always just give you more information on how can you receive even more? How can you have even more abundance than you already have? That's what they want for you. And they're saying for you to get there is once again going a little bit deeper and exploring and the next layer within you. And a good place to start is if you have any guilt or shame around an event or a situation or around something about yourself that you feel guilty or shameful for, that would be the place to start, because it's not true. You have nothing to be ashamed of or guilty for, and it even says you're perfect. You're God's perfect child. So I would say that if something's coming to mind, that's a place you should start. And then the end result I see is just like I was saying, I just see even more success, even more abundance. I think financial freedom is a little bit attached to this, going deeper, because there could be some block around not believing you are deserving of such a great abundance, financial abundance as that. Or there even could be some blocks around finance itself, around thinking people with lots of money might not be grateful, or they might not be, they might be, what's the word I'm looking for? They might be changed by money. They might lose sight of their vision. There could be some block like that. I don't know for sure for this pile, but I think that's why it's coming up. That would be where to start to really release any blocks that might be still coming through for this. Dreams. I do want to look a little more at this dream card. So if your dreams might be very clear. Sometimes they might not seem great. Like they might have like a weird energy to them. But I think this is how your subconscious is trying to communicate concepts or emotions or situations that it's trying to deal with. So if there is like if you do feel ashamed in a dream, or you feel disrespected or mistreated, this is how your subconscious is finding it the easiest to communicate with you what's bothering it on a deeper level. So this also could be a good place for you all to explore and start looking at it from that lens. If your dreams are a bit strange, it's literally just the best way your subconscious has found a way to communicate with you. And it's asking you or giving you the opportunity to focus on where you felt that emotion in your life, or if you felt that emotion in the situation. Maybe that the situation itself is similar to a situation that happened in real life, just to really take some time to focus on that and clear up some of that emotion. And then just as like another message here, the jellyfish represent beauty, wake-up calls, being in flow, regeneration, following intuition. And it comes up for people who need to find more ease in their life. So if I'm definitely getting from this pile that you get a lot of signs from your guides. And I think they're kind of in those ways where you have to go Google them and look them up, or look in a spirit animal book or a numbers book if you have it. And it's really coming through to please do that if you haven't been, or if you've been seeing a lot of things and been thinking you should look it up. Now is a good time to do it. If you're having a hard time finding time to do it in the moment, open up a notes section in your phone and just write the number that you saw or the animal that you saw. So maybe at home when in the evening before bed or something, you look up the messages and then you say thank you for the messages they're giving you. And I just feel like there's a lot for you through numbers, through animals, through maybe it could be you might see specific symbols. Trust all that, because there's just so much here. Just in this one little card reading, like even this turtle, I'm like, oh, I should really look up the spiritual meaning of turtles, because it's caught my eye so strongly this whole time. Turtles are known for their wisdom, patience, and strength. So that also goes very well with this card, which was saying to keep pushing through, keep going with it. You're right where you should be. Just keep following that divine guidance. Keep going the direction you're going, because you are doing so good. You are doing exactly what you should be doing right now. So this next month, like I said, I really feel like you're going to start seeing that monetary or financial gain that you've been wanting. I believe that you're going to keep manifesting in some powerful things, and it is just calling you to make clear and physically state to the universe what you want. So if you've done that previously, do it again, because you're in a new energy now, and you might just need to say it with a new energy, if that makes sense. You could be saying it exactly the same, but the energy you're at now will put it out there differently because of this past cycle you've just completed and come out of. And then just as a note to just remember, this is a time this next month for you to really learn your own personal power, your truth, your discernment, knowing what's best and right for you. So you're going to have a lot of things coming your way, and it's just really calling for you to let things sit within you and use your own intuition and your own guidance to look past the bias, the judgments, and really go within and see what is best for you. All right, I think that's all I have for you all. Hopefully that brought some clarity and some confirmations that you are exactly where you should be. There is some really great abundance coming in. I'm really excited for you. I can just tell you've worked on this for a long time, and you're just such a good-hearted person. You really want this to work out so that you can benefit everyone else. So that is just amazing. All right, thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for liking this video if it resonated, or leaving a comment. It helps this channel find more people. So thank you so much for your time. I'll see you around. Hello, pile 3. You all chose the peach selenite. Perfect stone for manifestation, as it talks about transformation, completely changing yourself and bringing on any healing that needs to be done. Okay, so first card we have here is reflect on your priorities. I don't know if I've seen this card come out before. It's actually very beautiful. Let's put it over there. And then we have being here. There's nothing I have to do. I simply need to be. Being here on the planet and loving the God within is the highest purpose I can have. Sovereignty. Oops. Let yourself receive. Ooh, all the piles so far have had a bit of a receiving block come through. Okay, and we have soul cage and, oh, I'm going to try to say this, concormancy? Concormancy. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say that one. Okay. So interesting. One of the first things I have to point out is the symbol in this card here behind the woman. I'm trying to see what language that is. Okay, do you all see that? It's like a circle with writing in it and a triangle. Something about the language this is in feels super important for this pile. Super important. Okay, so this might be a little bit of a specific meaning for some, but I feel like when I'm seeing that symbolism there, I almost am getting, sorry, I'll see if I say it, if it will form more sense. I see first that the writing is a combination between Sanskrit and Arabic alphabet, which I'm not really sure what that means, but something about it says you have roots there. So it could be that your soul, yeah, I think this is going to go both ways. I think for some of you, you literally do have ancestor roots in one of those cultures. And if not, then like in this lifetime, your physical body, one of your relatives might have come from there. Or your soul, this could be another double message, where your soul has had a lot of lifetimes working with that. And the importance of this and why this is even coming up is something about this is that somehow through this language, through the symbolism, I think through the power of the letters themselves, there is a lot of power in certain symbols. And somehow through that connectedness, you're going to find like this mental clarity and this, this is like a hard concept to say. It's like they're showing me your mind has clarity, wisdom. You're at the center of this, and you're also surrounded by and have a deeper understanding, connection of, what's the word they're giving me, like God energy. Okay. It's saying the triangle represents your mind's clarity, sharpness in your thinking, your intellectual capacity, and the circle in that symbol is representing your connection to spirit, to God, to the oneness of the universe. It's talking a lot about the tree of life, which also kind of makes sense with the Sanskrit. Their background, there was a little bit of like Hebrew vibes that were coming through too. So I have to be honest, I'm not fully understanding the message coming through. I'm trusting that there's something that has happened in your life that is reaffirming what I'm saying right now, that you have some roots there. If you've been considering looking more into the tree of life, looking more into Sanskrit, whether it's like chanting words or writing down letters from it, or the Arabic version of Sanskrit. It's called something different, but it could be talking about that as well. That might resonate with you a little bit more, and just trust that. If that has come through for you in some way, trust it, because it's very specific, but it's saying it's important. And there's something about past lives here too. You might have been like a very, I don't know, you might have been like a priest, priestess for this, or a prophet for whatever this was. But I feel like there's a lot of knowledge there. And it's almost saying like through that work, you're going to bring this old knowledge into your who you are in this lifetime. Like it's going to come in. Like I almost see like this is the ball of knowledge you had from your past life experiences, and it's going to come through into this life. And like the fact that this person's head is in the center of all that, that mental clarity, that connectedness and understanding of the tree of life, of the God consciousness, is super cool. That's not something everyone has the ability to tackle. This pile, I feel like you have a natural ability to understand it, as you've had past lives where you did understand it. You had past lives where you preached it, I think, truly lived it. So that's something that's kind of come in if you choose. And a lot of that's going to help with manifestation, I think. A lot of ancient knowledge, though. I feel like a lot in this card is talking about ancient knowledge and wisdom coming through. This card here, so interesting. It's such a powerful card. I feel like for this pile, you might be clairaudient, so you might hear messages. And then the other thing I'm seeing as I'm looking at this card is I like see this person sitting there, and I feel like them like opening themselves up to receive, what are those called? Like upgrades, I think. Upgrades and activations. I just see them sitting down and basically being like ready, like saying, I'm ready, hit me with it. And I feel like I see like this beam or pillar of light come down, and it like activates, upgrades, transforms this version of you. And I feel like those can hit you really hard sometimes. Like they can be very emotionally draining sometimes. It can create a lot of, what's the word? Like old negative limiting beliefs come up, more lower emotions come up, and they can be really intense. But I feel like the wisdom within you knows that it's like a fast track way of getting you where you want. Like, I get, this is very like old soul vibes, and very like definitely past life as witches, as prophets, as kind of more like those shamans, like the ones that deal with the dark and the light. There's a lot of like energy around understanding that to come through the shadow and to feel the shadow and see the shadow is how we grow, and that we always will have a shadow. Very interesting, very old kind of magic kind of energy coming through for this pile. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So I don't know if you have done these things where you're like literally, yeah, I feel like I really see this as like sitting on a beach, or if it's a rainy day, you might sit inside or outside, and you really do just like call on these upgrades to come down and basically upgrade you. And then I do see like some low emotions coming through, in the sense that this does bring up low emotions, and this does like bring things to the surface when you receive them. But I also get that there's some like difficulty in being a soul that is in a human body for you here. Yeah, I am trying to quite read this energy a little bit better. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. I'm almost getting, there's a lot of water energy here. I should have noticed that right away. I think wherever you are from originally, I don't think it was Earth, unless you were from Earth before humans were here. That would be possible. But if you are not from here and you've had other people tell you that, I would not be surprised, because there's some people here where their soul's just so old. I almost feel like they were like a species that was here before humans on Earth, and while the Earth had a lot more water on it. Yeah, and that's like it was like a higher vibration in a lot of ways. Like there was more energy focused. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this was Atlantis vibes as well. But I feel like your soul is older than that. It could have lived in Atlantis for quite a bit. It really likes being around energy and very openness with like I don't want to say necessarily witchcraft, but like that would be the closest thing you could find in this lifetime, I think, to the openness of using that type of energy. Like I feel like you came from a place where people used energy to power the whole cities that you would have lived in, and you would have used energy maybe even to like eat and to be alive. I really feel like energy was like seen as the thing that fueled everything, got everything to work, got everything to operate. And sorry, this is kind of strange, this is coming through in a manifestation thing, but it's just saying that your soul has really struggled because you've come from this very different culture. I think Atlantis would have been like definitely also a place you've spent a lot of time. I really just have to reiterate that this soul is very old. Very, very old. In case you didn't catch it the first time, like there's so many different lifetimes popping up in this. Yeah, and that this is just like this wounding, or this like there's this like grief on a soul level for not being in that way of living anymore, that way of life where things were just higher, like consciousness were higher, energy was higher, the planet was in better shape. I think that's also something that your soul has a lot of grief for, is the state of this planet, and you can see how it could be. But I think like when I see this soul cage, I really see that your soul is actually still grieving for the pain that you feel and see for the state of the planet for the lack of technology, even though we probably would have it, that isn't available to the wider range of people, the global community, sorry, is what I'm trying to say. Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, maybe it's affecting my communication more than normal, but I'm just seeing, like, I just see like this deep pain, and it might not always have been understandable for you why you could be so sad when you see certain things, but it's like your soul cries because it's such a loving soul. It's so bright, it's so high vibrational, it's so like sees a solution for a lot of this, and it really hates suffering. And I feel like when I see this soul cage, it's almost like sometimes you can get caught up in that pain, in that like the just like the environment, what it's going through right now, what other people are going through, like what the world goes through. It really makes your soul grieve. And I think it's coming through just to recognize that and say that you're so loving. You're such a being of light. And that's why it can be really hard. And then I also see here, like, that could even be why this card came through, where it says being here. There's nothing I have to do. I simply need to be. Being here on the planet and loving the God within is the highest purpose I can have. I think that is your greatest struggle in this lifetime. Sorry, my camera battery just died there. So I believe this is just coming up because this is something that you do struggle with, and that has been a challenge, I believe, for quite some time for you all. So some advice for you from the mermaids and from your guides is, so I see this about finding your tribe. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. I see that your people probably aren't as common to come across, but I do see that you do better when you're in community, when you're surrounded by other people who resonate and are like-minded. I see essentially that you are really great friends with people who are a little bit odd, who are a little bit different. Like I feel like I see like the main group of people are going over here, but then you're over here looking at this like really cool it's so funny. I'm like, this really cool bubble in the photo while everyone's looking over at like this gold light. You see the value and the beauty in the bubble. Yeah, and I almost even think this could be a bit of a message for some of you if you've ever done energy shielding and you haven't done it for a bit. If you've been having through a bit of a harder time than normal and you've been finding yourself in situations where you're surrounded by a lot of negativity or other people who gossip a lot or maybe have a lot of heaviness to them, to consider energy shielding. I feel like this pile doesn't love energy shielding. I think you feel like there's other things you could do. Go ahead and do that. But I do just feel like for some of you, there is a bit of a message around consider energy shielding for a little bit to help you during this time. And if it makes you feel better, maybe you just continue it for a while, but I do think it will help this pile not feel so heavy and taking on so much. And then the soul cage card, escape from captivity and restrictions. Interesting. This card says a lot. It's saying to me essentially that you've gone in a bit of like I almost feel like it would be a bit of a depression or a negative state, and you've almost like just fell into it is a good word to put it. Like you didn't really know how to get out, and then I see this higher self version of you coming in and like carrying you up out of that. Like I feel like these are two aspects of yourself. One is this aspect of you that is so sad about what's going on environmentally, the loss of their way of life when their soul was younger. And I do just feel like it's because it's so clear to you about it being possible for us to have this type of energy, to have this better relationship with the environment. But due to essentially the greed around, I shouldn't say that, essentially due to scarcity mindsets and fear, people have thought that they need to keep these old ways of technology, of gas, of building things and needing tools and machinery because they're scared that if they don't have control over it or if they don't receive finances through that way, that they won't have enough. So it's not money, it's literally scarcity mindset. And I feel like that's another thing that you've battled with is perhaps relationship with money, because I think you might see that financially this could be a reason why the planet isn't the way you want it to be. But I really feel like the shift is that it's scarcity, not finances, that cause these dynamics in our world. So I really see that it's just calling on this more loving, beautiful, strong. And I actually even do think the symbolism of the male and female is important here. I feel like your doer energy, your masculine energy of wanting to fix and change the world is essentially wounded because it tried and tried and tried to fix and it couldn't change anything. So now the feminine energy within you is coming in to hold space for the masculine, for the wounding, for the efforts that you've put in, and is going to help heal and lift you up, quite literally. So what would that look like? That would be holding space for yourself, sitting with your fear, sitting with the pain, sitting with that grief, because I do feel like there's a good amount of grief in this. And then that is going to be what brings you out of this depression, this kind of lower spot that you've been caught in. And then it does draw me to the let yourself receive. Allow others to give you loving care and receive without guilt or apologies. I do feel like this pile is very much a giver. You give a lot of your time, a lot of your things. I think this pile literally gives their things to people. But it's really just a little reminder, a little wink at the universe to receive it back, to receive back that loving compassion, that connection. I do feel like this pile is missing out on connection. That is something that on a soul level, I feel like you could use more of, is just interacting and having truly one-on-one interactions with others where you do really connect and they see you and you see them. I do think you see people a lot, but you need to be seen too, seen and heard. And just with the dolphins as well, they're such like loving and playful animals that I feel like this is also part of the message for you, is that your soul needs a little more of that in its life, because you are playful, you are fun, you do love relationships, friendships. And I feel like sometimes this bigger world stuff, this grief for what's happening to the planet can overwhelm you and can make you forget. And I almost do see like you can kind of draw away from the world once you get into that mindset. Reflect on your priorities. Interesting. Sorry, I was looking at this card, but then this one started talking to me again. It was telling me that sometimes you can just look up at the stars in the sky and just ask why. Like, why am I here? What is the purpose? Why can't I go back home? And it was just really, I think, further reiterating that message that your soul really, really struggles with being here on this planet. And I do understand, because it keeps showing me these beautiful, beautiful visuals of where you came from. And it's just so lighthearted, it's so loving. I know I was saying that before, but it's so, so beautiful. It's like tropical waters almost everywhere. And like the humans or the humanoid people of that place interact with the animals and the other wildlife there as equals. Yeah, super cool. And I definitely get that there's so much water from wherever you're from. Like, you feel more like water-based. And I'm almost like, maybe you're a mermaid, but I don't know. I feel like your soul has just honestly had so many lifetimes. It's really quite incredible. I think you've been everywhere and anywhere. Like I was saying before, like shaman, priestess, prophets, working definitely in temples, like old temples where they were doing amazing thing with what we would maybe call magic or energy, changing the physical reality or our physical realm. Definitely some witch lifetimes for sure, 100%, without a doubt. Yeah, it's really quite incredible how much your soul has lived through and done. Quite incredible. I'm gonna have to just take a second for this card. It's so important, but the message isn't being completely clear for me. Reflect on your priorities. Last quarter moon in Aquarius. Yeah, I don't know. This one's duping me a little bit. It's not talking a lot. All the other cards are talking a lot. They're like showing me like basically whole scenarios and videos basically of what's going on, but this card is really being quite quiet. So I almost wonder if that's possibly the message for you all, is to take time to be quiet, be still, and go within. I would think this could be another meditation card, reflecting on your priorities, but doing that in a place of meditation. Of stillness is really important. And of course there's water. So if you don't already know this about yourself, if you felt drawn to water, or sometimes you don't feel right and you go near water and you feel better, it makes a lot of sense. Your soul really feels comforted, and I almost feel like needs more water than most, to be around water, to drink more water than most people do. I think you might love water, like drinking it more than most people do. And they might even comment like, why do you love water so much? And you just go, oh, it's good. Like, that's part of it. It's like, it's so in your soul to just be surrounded by it, to have it within you, to be around it all the time. And the quality of water too is super important to you. Very high energy water. Just as a side note, this was coming up as I was looking at this. If some of you feel called to it, I think putting crystals in your water would be a benefit to this pile. I'm getting two different vibes. Aquamarine for some of you, if you feel called to that. And other one of you, I feel like doing shungite or hematite. And do you please check that all these are safe to go in water? I don't actually know, but I'm just getting like those types of crystals coming in. Depending on what you're struggling with and what resonates with you, hematite or shungite could be really good. I feel like this pile does struggle with like EMF stuff. Don't like all the extra electronics and the extra pollution from the world. So I think that's why shungite and hematite is coming up a lot. Aquamarine, I think is just because your soul loves it so much. And also there's like, okay, they're showing me the crystal. I don't know the name. It's like, I think it's going to be some type of blue or aura quartz. Maybe that even is a thing, blue aura quartz or turquoise aura quartz, but it's been aura. So it means that it's been, it has been altered so that it's extra, what's the word? It has like a glaze on it. It's really shiny, but they're really powerful crystals. So don't let the fact that it wasn't born or made perfectly like that change your mind on this. This is very powerful crystals when they're aura, or I don't know, I can't say that word, but Maybe I'll just put a little text box once I can figure out how to say things so that it's coming up while I'm saying this. I think it's aura. No. Auraized? I don't know. Okay, anyways, we're leaving that. But that is coming up pretty strong. Something about that might bring more comfort. Because I feel like for this pile, you've just gone through such a tricky time with this, like, I do feel like it's grief. Grief and a little bit of despair and just brokenheartedness for how you're seeing the world around you being treated, how you're seeing specifically Mother Earth and the animals treated. It's just like devastating for you. And it makes sense because you just know that they are equals. They are you and you are them, and there's so much respect there. And unfortunately, it's the way things are, those animals and Mother Earth is not getting that equal respect from us as a global community, as a whole society. Yeah. The other thing I keep wanting to mention too is I know we're in, like they think the years that we're in is an Aquarius. I don't know a lot about astrology, but that has come up a few times to me that we're in an Aquarius year or something. And I do remember from what I heard about that is that it's a more feminine time. There's a lot of change and spiritual growth coming in and higher level like consciousness, and I feel like this is coming through a little bit as a reminder that humankind is still growing and we are quite young, and to just trust in this process. Mother Earth could get rid of us in a second if she wanted to, and she hasn't. She believes in us. She can see that we're going to do better. We're going to get better. We're just learning. And it's just like a little reminder to you to have faith, because she trusts that we will get there. And she's not worried. So just like a little reminder to you that she knows that you love her, you're worried about her, but she is, she's got a lot of hope and trust in us. All right, I think that's all that I have for you today. Sorry, that wasn't really about manifestation, but I believe everything comes out as it needs to. You all have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking this video or leaving a comment. It helps this channel get out there more. Yeah, so I will see you all around. Best of luck. You're just such loving, beautiful souls.